I'm a city boy, born and bred. But for my next adventure, I'm heading into the countryside of northern England. Looks pretty desolate, doesn't it? This heather-covered land spreading in every direction. My journey is taking me from the west coast of Cumbria, nearly 200 miles east, to Robin Hood's Bay on the North Yorkshire coast. Oh, there he is! Oh man, that was so good! As I cross this spectacular countryside, it's such a beautiful landscape. It's almost manicured. I'm meeting the people who live and work here.
There you go, you're a natural.
I was born for this. Any more fares? Look at this down here. Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen? Wow! Ooh. This week, the cows that come running when you call.
Oh, oh, come on!
Look at the little ones.
Yeah, come on, girls.
I make a brewer hopping mad.
Shut the Volvo.
I can't do it anymore. Oh my God, I panicked. And I hatch my own gunpowder plot. The atmosphere's changed, hasn't it?
It does. It's very nerve-wracking, this part.
With explosive results.
It worked anyways.
This is it. This is where it all begins, St Bees Beach. St Bees is just about the most westerly point in England. You've got Scotland about 40 miles in that direction, Ireland about 70 miles over there, London way over there, but I'm heading off east towards Robin Hood's Bay, which is about 200 miles away. This is the start of my coast-to-coast adventure. Oh, but first, a little ritual. There's this tradition, and nobody knows where it comes from, certainly I don't, which is that before you set off on this walk, you have to dip your toe into the sea, which is a bit of a pain for me, because as you see, I've got lace-up boots on, but here it goes anyway. I think that's enough. Now, believe it or not, there's another half to this exercise. Please stay with me on this one. You're supposed to find a pebble in the sand, which you carry with you all the way to Robin Hood's Bay, and you drop it on the beach when you get there. At nearly 200 miles long, the coast-to-coast route straddles the north of England, crossing the Lake District, Yorkshire Dales and North Yorkshire Moors. For the first part of my journey, I'm starting in the seaside village of St Bees, heading east towards the Lake District, ending at one of the highest points in Cumbria, the Honister Pass. Before I start my journey, though, I'm heading into the centre of St Bees to find out how this village got its name. Weird name, isn't it? I bet most of you haven't heard of St Bees before. So who was St Bee? Well, Bee is a corruption of the name Bega, and Bega was an Irish princess who, around about 850 AD, fled Ireland in order to escape from the threat of a forced marriage to a Viking, and indeed, who can blame her? And she sailed single-handedly across the Irish Sea and landed here and became a sort of saintly hermit. So St Bees has been a holy place for a very long time. And holy places tend to stay holy places. It's what inspired the Normans to build this whopper of a church in the 12th century. And most of it survives today. This is a very, very old church. They reckon probably the oldest part is this stone here, which dates from round about 1100. That's less than 50 years after William the Conqueror came. And it's a knight. Can you see the knight's head at the top with the sword? And underneath this huge monster, it's St Michael fighting the dragon. And below it is what they call a coffin stone, where the pallbearers had a little rest when it got too heavy. But here is a magnificent arch from about 1150 with these ugly little faces all the way around it. Come inside. This is what's so weird about it. St Bees has got a population of just 1,800, but look at the scale of the church. And it's still in incredibly good nick. Whenever I see a colossal church in a little place, I know there's a story behind it. I wonder what this one is. Waiting to see me outside are lay preachers Chris and Charm Robson, two fascinating people, both retired teachers, still marathon running in their 70s and passionate about their church. I think the first thing I noticed when I came to St Bees was you've got this tiny little village and this absolutely colossal church.
Well, yes, it looks like a cathedral, doesn't it? You go inside, it's enormous.
Chris told me the reason that it's still in good nick now was because in the 19th century, the Church of England needed lots more vicars, and at the time they only had two places to send them, Oxford and Cambridge. So they needed another centre for theological training, and they picked St Bees. Since it closed, though, finances have been a bit of a struggle.
Look in the visitors' book, you'd be surprised, in fact, at the number of different nationalities, because they are cross-England walkers, and they come to visit the Priory, I hope, always, to be the start of the walk. And then, in fact, they can kick off the next day.
Well, you're the start of my walk.
Well, what we want every walker to do is put at least £5 into the box.
I wish I hadn't said that. I've only been in the area a few hours, and already I'm convinced there are thousands of stories around here waiting to be discovered. It's time to get going. I'm not the first person to walk through this landscape, not by a long chalk. The man who created the route was obsessive walker and 80s TV personality Alfred Wainwright. His quirkily illustrated books continued to be used by many walkers today. His funny little statue is just down the road, so maybe I'll pay homage to him before I start my journey in earnest. This is the author Alfred Wainwright, famous for his beautifully illustrated travel guides to the Lake District, culminating in one about walking from coast to coast. Although he wasn't that interested in just going from A to B down some designated pathway, he encouraged people to go off route, to pursue their own interests, to create their own tracks, which is actually what I'm doing. So I think he'd have approved. I've set out to cross England from west to east, starting in Cumbria. I've been on the flat at the coast and am now heading inland towards the lakes. But first I'm going to pick up some lunch. This looks promising. There is a rather nice smell here.
Oh, yeah?
Hello. I was just saying, it's gorgeous, the smell coming off of these pies. Hang on, what's this? Haggis Scotch egg. Classic Cumberland Scotch egg, smoky bacon Scotch egg.
Yeah, that's just a couple. We do over 40. Some of them are seasonal.
40?
Yeah.
What sort of things do you do?
Well, the popular at the moment is the Mediterranean. You've got feta and Kalamata olive.
Feta and olive, that's swanky.
Yeah.
Can I have a go?
If you're up for it, we can do that. Yeah? Come on, have a go. Chef John Cameron is going to show me how to make the perfect Scotch egg. And it looks like serious stuff, as I have to wear chef's whites. Right, this is already a seasoned sausage meat. Yep. We need to chop up some feta and some olives. Sounds like Scotch eggs have come a long way since the last time I tried one. Why are you doing this? Well, a Scotch egg isn't just your basic bottom-of-the-shelf supermarket snack. Yeah. A Scotch egg is something to be enjoyed and respected because it is a great British snack. Posh London grocers Fortnum and Mason in Piccadilly claim to have invented the Scotch egg in the 18th century.
Back then, Piccadilly was full of coaching inns from where many landowners would start their journey to their country estates and needed some sustenance.
Tell me if these squares are all right.
Yeah, they're fine. We need all of that you've got there.
What, this whole block?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
God, I'll be here all day.
Well, if you chop a bit faster, we won't be.
Do you make these recipes up yourself?
Yeah. It's...
Have you ever made some and put them out and people have gone, oh, this is disgusting?
I've tried some seafood ones. We had this idea of scooping out the yolk and then making a smoked salmon cream to go inside. But as you bit into it, it would burst and all the juice would just sort of fly out.
When you're going down the high street. Whoa, salmon mousse.
Yeah, so we've had a couple of disasters.
Olives and feta prepared, they're ready to add into the locally sourced sausage meat. And it's an exercise in precision.
So now what we're going to do is we need to weigh these into 100-gram balls.
100 grams each time, yeah.
Each time. You've got to feel for it.
Oh, 10 out. Oh, I thought I was going to do it then. Bing, bong, bong. There we go.
OK, so try again, see whether you get the 100. Yeah, hey, there you go. See?
Now for the stars of the show. These eggs have come from just up the road, and John's boiled them for 15 minutes exactly to give a firm yolk.
How do you get that into that, John?
Right, well, it's not magic, but it is exact.
There's clearly more to this than I anticipated. Taking the meatball in one hand, John flattens the sausage with the other.
So you kind of get a nest. If you think of the egg in the bird's nest.
In a little nest.
What we do now, straight into the middle. Bring that meat up around the egg.
It's easier said than done. But I'm a fast learner, and in no time at all, we've a full batch ready. From here, we do a classic three-step dip. Flour, egg, and breadcrumbs to finish them off.
If we just lower them in.
Into the fryer for 10 minutes until they're golden brown. And just look at the results. Beautiful.
Right, so here we go then.
Thank you.
OK, so just have a taste and see what you think.
Hot?
It's hot, yeah.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
The olives give it an additional kind of little salty tang.
Yeah,
That make
and you've got the feta cheese.
Yeah.
I'm well impressed. I'm going to nick another one for later.
Look at that. Scotch egg, reinvented for today's connoisseur. It's brilliant, isn't it? This is the perfect transportable snack.
But first, a bit of legwork. I'm about to climb my first fell of the journey. 5 miles inland is Dent Hill. And while it's no Everest, at just over 350 metres above sea level, it feels steep enough to me. But I've been promised spectacular views from the top, so it better be worth the climb. It's harder than I thought, so I'm taking a breather. Looking back towards the coastline, I can see the 6 square kilometres of Sellafield. Nuclear power plants are controversial, but this place employs thousands of people. It's the largest employer in the lakes, and if you got rid of it, you'd need a lot of job training schemes to keep the place alive.
Whew. God, good, eh? Over there is the Isle of Man. There's the Stranraer Peninsula. There's the lakes where I'm going. And here is lunch.
On the other side of Dent Hill sits the gateway to my first national park.
I've
left the coast behind and I'm now in the Lake District. That's Lake Ennerdale. 400 million years of time and weather have eroded the landscape and created these magnificent fells, the ancient woodlands, and that beautiful crystal clear water. The Lake District has the highest rainfall in the UK, averaging 2,000 millimetres of rain every year. Lake Ennerdale is the most westerly of the lakes. It's also the most remote, being the only lake with no road running alongside it. This gives the whole valley a tranquility I've not experienced in a long time. The valley of Ennerdale has been home to an agricultural community since the Bronze Age. The steep landscape and wet conditions mean growing crops here isn't an option, so these fells and valleys have long been used for breeding livestock. Now, on a beautiful day like today, you're probably thinking that farming this land is the best job in the world, but it does have its challenges, particularly if you're adopting a pioneering approach. This whole valley is part of Wild Ennerdale, a project where landowners are working together to reverse some of the effects man has had on the valley over the last century and reinstate a wilder environment. I'm headed to Howside Farm to meet tenant farmer Richard Maxwell, whose method of farming works with the environment rather than against it. Hey, Richard.
Morning, Tony.
How you doing, mate?
All right, mate, yeah, how are you?
All right, where are we going this morning?
Well, I was just going to set off up the valley to see the cows. Do you want to join me?
Yeah, I'd love to, yeah.
Jump in the pickup, we'll go.
OK. How long have you been farming?
Well, we've been here on Howside. We've been here for 18 years.
So what sort of farming is it that you do?
We breed cattle, we breed sheep. We fatten very few because our type of land isn't suitable really for fattening livestock, but it's very good land for breeding livestock.
This valley is dominated by swathes of pine trees, but they're not native to the Lake District. They were planted in the 1950s to provide both a timber supply and rural employment opportunities after the Second World War. For the last 10 years, the Wild Ennerdale project has been replenishing forests with the native broadleaf and deciduous trees which would once have carpeted this valley. As part of the same scheme, Richard introduced a herd of Galloway cows. These girls are free to roam and play an important part in rejuvenating the vegetation. Known as conservation grazing, livestock are used to manage the land while encouraging new growth of foliage. How often do you have to feed them?
Well, it isn't a case of feeding them. This bit of food really is to make them come to me. Oh. It's a large area, so it's not for nutrition. It's a management tool, really.
A management tool in what sense? Just to make sure they're all fit?
Yeah, so I come to see them once or twice a week. I look over them, check they're healthy. We should be able to call them from here.
What did you say there?
I just say, ho, come on. And it's something they're used to, so they usually respond to.
They're really trotting. Look at the little ones.
Yeah, there's 4 young calves here. Come on, girls.
How far will these travel?
These fields, there's no fences on these fields, so they can get into the forest and they can travel up the valley for about approximately 4 miles. When you come, you never know where you're going to find them.
Yeah.
Come on, girls. Oh, oh, come on! See,
I made it move.
They're calling back to you. Yeah. They're all pedigree and each one has a name. This is Belle.
Hello.
And because they've been such good cows, we'll give them a treat.
These Galloway cows were brought down from southwest Scotland, where weather conditions are similar to those here in the lakes.
When we introduced the cows, the idea was to have a cow that could stay outside on the land 12 months of the year. So we needed a rather smaller but hardy cow, something that could look after itself in the winter.
Why have you got cows here rather than sheep?
Cows eat differently to sheep. This valley has been historically grazed with sheep for hundreds of years. Whereas the cow will eat with its tongue and it always leaves some of the grass behind. So it doesn't eat it right down to the soil. Whereas the sheep will eat with its front teeth and it eats right down to the soil.
So the sheep sort of just nibble it like scissors all the way, whereas the cow spins its tongue around the...
And rips it up. That's right.
The other great thing about this is that the weight of these larger animals breaks up the ground underfoot, which helps seeds take hold and grow. I've got quite fond of this one. It's prepared to be patted.
She's a bit of a pet, is Belle.
Will these end up as Sunday joints?
Eventually they will go into the food chain. Bull calves, they go into the food chain right away. The females are kept for breeding life, and then at the end of that breeding life, they will go in the food chain.
How old's Belle?
Belle's 6-year-old.
And how much longer has she got?
About 8 to 10 years.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah. The great thing about the Galloway, it does live a long life. Yeah. And hopefully a happy life.
Coming up, I serve up a brew.
Here we go, Mark.
Nice penny.
At a family-run firm producing craft ale for thirsty walkers.
9 gallon of our best beer inside the cask.
How many pints a gallon?
72 pints in old money.
I'm travelling the breadth of England from the west coast to the east coast. But I'm forging my own path, stepping off the beaten track to meet the people who live and work here. This travelling lark's thirsty work, so I've found the perfect place to spend the day. Just 3 miles from the shores of Lake Ennerdale, in the village of Rowrah, is a rural business success story. And I'm rolling up my sleeves to try my hand at brewing the perfect pint.
Would you please put these on now? It's a bit of health and safety in the brewery.
OK. Barry Roberts started Ennerdale Brewery when his homebrew hobby outgrew the family garage. How did you start it?
It was a passion between a colleague of mine who I work with, and we decided to build a brewery.
That's a pretty ambitious thing to do, isn't it?
It is an ambitious thing, and we went into it a little bit naive.
Yeah.
But
in what way were you naive?
Well, you need business plans, you need marketing plans, you need sales, you need lots and lots of things.
And you thought you were just going to brew a bit of beer?
And we thought we'd brew a beer and people would come in and buy it. But I'm afraid it's not as simple as that.
They've clearly figured it out, as they're now brewing twice a week, producing almost 300,000 pints a year.
Put that on there, please.
Oh, my God. I did offer to help out today, but lugging 25 kilos of barley isn't quite what I expected. Oh, you'd stuck it on my left because I need my right to...
Please keep all of the handrail.
I'm not intending to let go. This barley is called Maris Otter and was developed specifically for brewing by Cambridge University in the 60s. Shall I give it to this bloke?
Yes, give it to Mark, our head brewer.
Hello, Mark.
Hi there.
Oh, you could have taken it from me at the bottom of the steps, you know. Oh!
We're brewing a blonde today, which is our most sort of popular beer.
So do we chuck this in now?
Yeah, we're going to chuck this in now.
I think I'll let you do that.
OK.
It's heavy work for a recipe with only 4 ingredients: barley, yeast, hops, and that all-important water.
Very lucky here in the Lake District. We've got brilliant water for brewing.
All the way up? All the way up. The first stage is to add the grain to 800 litres of warm, filtered spring water. The very same water which fills the lake in the valley. This is known as mashing and releases malt and the sugars, which will eventually ferment into alcohol.
Right, so that's the temperature now. What we're looking to do is get the mash bed at around 65 degrees. At 65 degrees, the starches in the malt then convert into fermentable sugars.
How long is this process going to take?
This process takes about 15 minutes to mash in, and then it gets left inside for 1 hour.
Shall I get you a cup of tea?
Sure.
How many sugars do you take?
2, please.
Right. Putting a brew on in the tea shop next door is Barry's wife, Doreen. Hello. Oh, Doreen.
Yeah?
Could I have a couple of cups of tea for the lads?
Yeah, of course, Kirsty. Could you get a couple of cups of tea? Do you want to come in and help me?
Help you? Oh, blimey. I just thought you'd have got enough staff.
Just grab a penny. And if that's all right.
This is a wind-up this morning. So how many days a week do you work here?
I work here, supposed to be 28 hours, but I'm here every day. Because it's a family affair, I want it to work.
I bet the brewery dominates family life, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, before I was involved in it, I never saw much of my husband. And also, I see more of my girls now than I ever have done in the past. And it's absolutely brilliant. Now, I need to get my vegetables in now.
I need to take those teas back because the next stage of brewing is ready, yeah. Right, here we go. Here we go, Mark. 2 sugars?
Yes, thanks. Nice penny.
I forgot I'd got my pinny on. Thank you very much. The malt mixture is now ready for another ingredient, and it's one you definitely expect: hops.
We get out first, yeah?
The use of hops in beer making became popular in Britain in the late 15th century, having been brought over from Belgium and Holland. Originally used as a preservative, they also give beer its bitter flavour. Well, that's more than I thought they'd be. The beer, once brewed, is put into casks.
We have 9 gallons of our best beer inside the cask.
How many pints a gallon?
72 pints in old money. Shut the valve off and...
I can't do it anymore. Oh, my God. Sorry? I panicked. The filled casks are left to settle for up to a week before heading off to pubs. I'm not done yet, though. There's some tidying up to do. The leftover barley grain needs to come out of the mash tub.
Still quite a bit of nutrients left in there. So what we do is we take that out, put it into the bins, then the farmer comes, takes it away, and then he uses it as animal feed.
So nothing's wasted.
So this is your initiation for today.
Yeah, it's quite satisfying. That's about it, isn't it? Whew. I think I deserve a beer. All right, I'm sport for choice, aren't I? So what should I choose? Darkest, raspberry or wild?
Seeing as though you brewed blonde today, I think you should start off with a blonde.
Yeah.
It's quite a sweet beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pale. Just let that settle a bit.
Okay, right. So this is my one.
Cheers.
That's a really nice beer, actually.
Great. I'll pass on your comments.
It's not a bad pint. I could be here for some time. God, what a difference a day makes. That big ball of sun that was dominating the sky all day yesterday has completely disappeared. And when I woke up in the middle of the night, there was thunder, lightning, the rain was tipping down, which made quite a mess of my hotel room because I'd left the windows open. Still, what can you expect? This is the Lake District. They've got to get their water from somewhere. Actually, I quite like this weather. It's very mild and it's rather invigorating. At 1,200 feet above sea level, Honister Pass is one of the highest roads in Cumbria. And deep in the mountains that flank this dramatic route is England's last slate mine. It's believed that slate has been mined here since Roman times, but the first records are from the 1700s, showing a large quarry on this site employing hundreds of people. In the 1830s, the mine expanded into the mountain, carving out an underground network. Today, those 11 miles of tunnels are owned by local businessman Joe Weir. Over 100 tons of slate are blasted out of the rock face every year, and today I'm hoping to blast off a little bit more.
This is a block that I got out a couple of weeks ago now.
What do you reckon that weighs?
It's about 5 or 6 ton, I think, and it's too big. It's, I have to reduce this now. I have to try and get it smaller so we can get it out.
How do you do that?
I have to find bait, what we call bait on it. I just have to chip a little bit off and see which way it cracks.
What's bait?
Bait is... you got my Cumbrian accent perfect there.
Only because I don't know how you spell it.
Bait is, it's which way it's laid, like a book, pages of a book. Slate is laid, and we have to find that. We can't make slates out of it if we don't find which way it's laid. And I can't break this big bit up if I don't find which way it's laid. So you got your glasses, have you? You put them on and I'll see if I can crack a bit off. And that's bait. That's the line I'm wanting.
What happens next?
Well, hopefully it'll split from top to bottom and we'll be all singing and dancing and it's worth quite a lot of money then, yeah.
You say that as though that may not happen.
I don't think it will, no. Maybe it's intuition or whatever, I don't know, but...
You'll have a go for it?
We'll have a go, yes, definitely.
Come on then, let's see if it splits. There's no point messing around when you're 1/4 of a mile underground, so Joe's bringing out the big guns to get the job underway, drilling pilot holes into the slate. He's putting metal wedges called plugs and feathers into the pilot holes. He's going to hammer them down to try and force the slate to fracture. We don't have great expectations, but...
Whoa! Did you hear that?
I heard that different noise.
That's good. And I didn't expect that coming so fast. The crack's here, look, and it's following the right line, going straight between them 2 plugs and feathers. It's trickling along this way. In fact, it's better than I thought. I'm going to carry on. I'm getting excited myself now. I do. See, the sound is a big thing. You hear it changing and getting deeper and deeper, don't you? Once that sound stops, you know the cracks stop travelling.
Oh, that's good.
It is good. In fact, it's blooming brilliant.
Real drum sound, isn't it? Way! There it went.
Wow. Look at that, right to the end. That's brilliant.
That's magnificent.
That's made my day, that. Simple things make my day.
For Joe, this is a fragile business. Cheap imports from China have caused a dramatic decline in demand for British slate. Honister's been able to keep going by diversifying with a workshop and tourist centre. Where does the money come from? Selling the slate or getting the people in?
There's good money in the slate. The slate brings good money. The tourists do as well. And everything goes in phases. I mean, wintertime, you maybe don't see a tourist. So that's when we focus on the slate more, maybe. I think manufacturing is fantastic. To turn this bit of rock into a kitchen or something like that, or roofing slate that goes onto somebody's house, I think that's a fantastic asset to have.
The next job is to extract another hunk of slate. We're laughing and joking around, but the atmosphere's changed, isn't it? And that means gunpowder. The plugs practically blew out. I'm at Honister Slate Mine in the Lake District, and I'm about to get my first taste of explosives. How do you get a great big lump like this off that wall?
It's blasted off with gunpowder.
Real gunpowder? That sounds like a 500-year-old technology. Why do you use gunpowder?
It's softer on the slate. It's gentler.
There's more rock to blast in this cave, so it's time to get out of the way. 1/4 of a mile of cable is laid back through the tunnel, and Joe's given me the job of detonating.
You're good with that?
Yeah.
I will connect the wires now.
It's very different now, isn't it? We were laughing and joking around, but the atmosphere's changed, isn't it?
It has. It's changed for me too. Yeah, it's very nerve-wracking, this part. You never know how it's going to go, really. And if it goes well, it could keep us going for 2 months down in the workshed. Right, it's ready to wind up now. Yeah, so that goes like that. There we go, press the button. It worked anyways.
The plugs practically blew out. Oh,
yeah.
You really felt it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. While we wait for the dust to settle, we head down to the workshop, where the raw slate is transformed into saleable products by Joe's team of skilled craftsmen.
Right, this is the raw clog. It's come down, it's been into the sawmill, and now the hard work begins. Now it's got to be turned into pounds, really. And hopefully, if the rock plays good with us, it can make it into the low mech floor tiles. But we'll see. You take it away, Paul. Have a go. You can hear it, can't you?
Yeah, oh, there it's gone, yeah.
That's beautiful, yeah.
So that's a good piece.
That sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah. Now you'll half it again, so you get your 4 now.
It's not just flooring. Honister also produce roof tiles, high-end kitchen worktops, and even headstones and memorial plaques. What's your output a year? How many roof tiles do you make?
Yeah, roughly. We put about 100 tonne out, and there'll be 500 in a tonne. So roughly, you do the maths. I'm no good at maths.
500, 5,000, 50,000?
50,000, that's it, yeah. It's a skill. It's a fantastic
Can he do
skill.
anything with the little bits that he hacks off?
We do. We have stages all the way through where we make walling out of it, we make crazy paving. Then we put it on fill your boot, and people come and fill the boot with stuff. And then the last resort, it goes back up the mountain to get chipped into garden chipping. We waste nothing here. We're very hungry here. Yeah.
Now the dust has settled, we can go back underground and see whether my detonation has landed Joe a great new slab of slate. You know that bit of rock that we put the crack in? Well, the lads started to shift it, and as you can see, it went ping and split straight away. It's beautiful, isn't it? So, that's the good news. The bad news is, you remember the massive piece of rock that I blew up with dynamite? Well, as you can probably see behind you, it's still there. It didn't move it at all. It created a bit of tumble down here, but it's just solid, except Joe isn't as bothered about it as I was, because can you see that there's a huge crack all the way down it, and he reckons it'll just take him a couple of hours with a digger to shift it and it'll be fine. It's easy to be cynical about the fact that half the money from this place comes from the coffee shop and the tourists. But the reality is that times are hard, and they're constantly being undercut by slate imports from China. The good news, though, is that they're still making things that people want, and they're turning a profit. There's been a slate mine here since Roman times. Let's hope it stays open for a long time to come. Thousands of people follow the coast-to-coast path every year in search of adventure and an escape from modern life. For those in search of complete tranquility, I've heard there's a place which offers the perfect spot to get away from it all, and it really is in the middle of nowhere. At 7 miles from the nearest building, it's quite a trek, so I've cadged a lift in a Land Rover. Nestled at the far end of Borrowdale Valley, hidden among the fells, is England's most remote youth hostel, Black Sail Hut. It used to be a shepherd's bothy and became a youth hostel in 1933. For over 80 years, this tiny building has been a welcome sight for walkers as a place to rest overnight. Hostel worker Ian has the lowdown. This has got to be one of the most remote spots on the whole coast-to-coast walk, isn't it?
Well, I think it probably is the most remote. I mean, you're 7 miles away from a road. You are incredibly
isolated in terms of everything, pretty much.
This idyllic spot attracts over 2,500 overnight visitors per year, and the 16 beds run at 90% occupancy from March to October.
The actual reason why we stopped here is by pure fluke.
It is, yeah. So they just advertised the Black Sail as a sort of 3-day loop that you could do. So we thought we'd book in for 2 days, and we were very, very lucky to.
I was going to say, I thought there was about a 5-month waiting list or something.
Well, everyone who's walked in has been like, this is really historic, you should come here. How long have you been waiting to come here? And we're like, this is the first time we've ever been here, and we're just lucky to get in.
Yeah, no, we're really lucky, and we'll come back, definitely, again and again, for sure.
That's really nice.
Staying here is a real off-grid experience. With no mains water or electricity, it relies on a nearby stream and solar panels to run the showers and fridges. There are no power sockets for guests, so I won't be charging my phone here. How do they get all the stuff up here?
So all the supplies and bedding, food, drink, gas, everything is delivered to Borrowdale, and then the Land Rover, we transport it up the track. We try to keep it to 2 journeys a week. So basically, it kind of, you know, the Land Rover is the lifeline for the hostel, really.
What's it like working here?
Amazing, scary, beautiful, lonely, desolate. You know, but if this is where you want to be, if you're a fell runner or a climber or a cyclist or anything, then you can stay here and be happy. You know, it takes a certain kind of person to work at Black Sail. I'd very rarely leave if the choice was mine. It's great.
You trudge up that dirt pathway for about 7 miles, and then bang, you come to this huge, great bowl of mountains that seem completely impassable. It's like you've come to the end of the earth. And yet, here's this little bothy where they've got electricity, you can get a shower, food, beer. They even just gave me an ice-cold glass of Chardonnay. This may be isolation, but it's 21st century isolation. Next time on my coast-to-coast adventure, I'll be taking to the water in the Lake District.
Lady of the Lake was 1877.
And she's still going today?
Yes, she's here.
Finding out about the harsh realities of farming the fells of Borrowdale. 25 pence for a whole fleece. And hoping to see a rare British beauty in a secluded woodland. Because you see so few, you feel that's very special. I'm a city boy born and bred, but for my latest adventure, I'm heading into the countryside of northern England. Looks pretty desolate, doesn't it, with this heather-covered land spreading in every direction. My journey's taking me from the west coast of Cumbria, nearly 200 miles east to Robin Hood's Bay on the North Yorkshire coast. Oh, there he is! Oh man, that was so good! As I cross this spectacular countryside, it's such a beautiful landscape. It's almost manicured. I'm meeting the people
you've got health.
Who live and work here.
There you go, you're a natural.
I was born for this. Any more fares? Wow!
Shut the valve off.
I can't do it, it won't go. Oh my God, I panicked. This week I'm in the Lake District, England's largest national park, discovering the turbulent history behind the hills and mountains. It's the perfect example of the ripping and yanking about that this landscape has undergone. There we go. Rolling my sleeves up to cook a regional speciality. How many different chutneys do you do?
Probably about 140 we do normally.
And I'm on the lookout for a rare British beauty. Is that one there?
Yeah, well spotted.
I'm 30 miles into my coast-to-coast adventure. At nearly 200 miles long, my route takes me across the north of England through 3 national parks. Ahead of me lie the Yorkshire Dales and North Yorkshire Moors. But for the second part of my journey, I'm setting off from the Borrowdale Valley in the heart of the Lake District National Park, travelling east across the landscape and ending in the remote village of Shap. During the summer, thousands upon thousands of people come here to yomp across the fells and enjoy the lakes, and it's easy to see why. But I want to delve a little deeper and find out more about the people who work this land and this water. So I've decided to stay away from the more well-known places like Coniston and Windermere and start in Borrowdale. The Borrowdale Valley runs for 10 miles, from the high fells to the shores of Derwentwater. The land has been worked by farmers for over 1,000 years. They've shaped a landscape of stone walls and green pastures for sheep. 80% of Borrowdale is owned by the National Trust, with land leased to farmers. I've come to Yew Tree Farm to meet Johnny Bland, whose family has been looking after these fells for generations.
All right? Yep. Come on, Doug.
These upland hills of Borrowdale are a challenge to farm and only suitable for sheep, which isn't for everyone. Locals are selling up and leaving the area. 60% of the houses in the valley are no longer the homes of people working the land. Instead, they're holiday cottages. Johnny is one of the few remaining farmers left in Borrowdale. With a flock of 2,500 sheep, he and his family are determined to keep working his farm. How much land have you got?
It'll be about 1,200 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite a big lump.
And is that all grazed by sheep?
All grazed by sheep, yeah. It's, you know, we get long winters here and it's only fit for sheep, really, so...
What is it that we're going to do today?
We're just going to gather some ewes with lambs up. They're ready for shearing.
Well, they're not 2,500 there.
No, we'll go out on the mountains and gather a certain section and bring them down in maybe 50s.
Johnny's flock are all herdwicks, first introduced to the fells by the Vikings. They're the hardiest of all Britain's hill sheep, capable of surviving at heights of 3,000 feet. They've got extra thick, tough, woolly coats to protect them from the wind and rain, and sturdy, thick-set bones to walk the rocky fells. Why are the little ones dark brown and the others aren't?
The lambs are born jet black.
Yeah.
And after about 3 months, the faces start to go white and the legs go white. And then when they get to about 6 months old, they take on a brown coat. And until the shade, they keep that brown coat, and then the various shades of grey after that.
They look great together, don't they?
Yeah.
Rounding up the sheep is a huge task, only made possible by Johnny's team of 7 sheepdogs, 2 of which are with us today. What are they called, these 2?
That's Jade and this is Gil.
Gil?
It has to be something that's easy to shout and short.
Of course, yeah.
You don't want a great long fancy name, or it would, you know, you wouldn't be able to shout it over and over.
After a 20-minute hike up the hillside, we finally come across more of Johnny's herdwicks.
Right, we can see them now. We're going to put dogs around sheep. Come on, dogs. Jade, Gil, come on, get him out, lads. Get him out. Get back, Jade, get back. Ho, Gil, ho, Gil, ho, Gil, ho, Gil, ho. Betcha, lad, betcha.
In a matter of minutes, a whole herd of them emerged. Well, that was efficient. I thought it was going to take some 40 minutes.
Oh, no, we want to get them in and down and sheared, so we like to get on with it.
Johnny may be keen to get on with it, but I can't help taking a moment to enjoy the spectacular views. It's such a beautiful landscape, isn't it? It's almost manicured. How much of that's down to the sheep?
Well, it's all down to the sheep and the farmers. If there was no sheep, it would all just become overgrown. and just a wilderness, really. And if that's what you want, well, that's what you want. But I think the Lake District looks good as it is now. It's a special place and it needs looking after.
Without the sheep grazing the pasture, the grassland would be overtaken by scrub and coarse vegetation, which is why the Herdwick sheep have been described as the guardians of the fell. The sheep need to be shorn in the summer months to stop their woolly coats getting infested with maggots. Vast fortunes were made from wool. During the Industrial Revolution, the north of England was at the forefront of the textile industry with its huge mechanised mills, making it one of the wealthiest parts of the world.
Jet, one, jet.
Those days are long gone. Due to cheap imports and synthetic fabrics, most farmers only make money from meat sales. Shearing is now just about looking after the sheep.
Right, you fetch us one, Cam.
Johnny shears every one of his 2,500 sheep himself.
Haircut time.
How much do you get for each fleece?
Well, this fleece here will be worth about 25 pence.
25 pence for a whole fleece?
If I was getting a shear in to shear the sheep, cost me a pound a sheep to get them sheared.
So if you didn't do it yourself, you'd lose 75p on each one?
That's each sheep, yes.
It would be just as cheap for you to dump it, really, wouldn't it?
It'd be cheaper to burn it, and farmers have burnt it, like, but it just makes a mess, and if the job's worth doing, it's worth doing, isn't it? But
John is the fourth generation of his family to farm these hills, and their future's dependent on the next generation. Eldest son Cameron regularly helps out. Do you fancy being a farmer?
Yeah, I want to go into farming.
Even though you only get 25p for a fleece?
Yeah, but it has to be done.
Yeah, sure.
There's other ways of making money off sheep.
You don't fancy going down to London or Birmingham or Manchester instead?
No. Torch having to work in an office or something.
That's it. It is a tough job. You've got to want to do it, or you just won't stick to it, like, 'cause it's 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
It looks so idyllic right now, doesn't it?
Yeah. You imagine winter, freezing cold, dark, rain and snow, getting sheep in off fells. It's all graft, like, but we love it. It's not work, it's just something we do. Obviously, we need money, but that isn't the driving force, like.
Johnny and his family make what money they can from farming, but they're also fully aware of their roles as custodians of this magnificent countryside, ensuring it's maintained for future generations. I think it's brilliant that a young man like Cameron doesn't want to leave here, but is prepared to devote his whole life to this place. My coast-to-coast adventure in the north of England stretches from west to east. I'm in the Lake District, and from Yew Tree Farm, I've travelled to the northern tip of the valley to Derwentwater, 3 miles long and a mile wide. It's the Lake District's third largest lake and home to 4 islands. Hidden away on the largest is one of the area's most magnificent houses. Nestled in 7 acres is Derwent Island House. Owned by the National Trust, to help preserve the property, they lease it out to private residents. Today, I'm getting an exclusive tour, courtesy of current tenants, Ron and Lou Clark. Looking forward to this. Shall I sit on here?
Yeah, if you sit this side, and then we'll be a bit more balanced.
Okay. Ron and Lou recently sold their IT business and have a passion for living in and renovating old properties, although this is by far the biggest and the only one they haven't owned. Not a bad view, Ron.
Yeah, we've become used to it, though, in a way. So it's great when people new come to the island and remind us how actually great it is.
But this view doesn't come cheap. The rent on Derwent Island House is £40,000 a year. Why did you decide to move here?
Our kids had grown up and went to university. Our original plan was to go to Spain. And then this came up, we thought, well, we can still go to Spain at any time, but how often do you get the opportunity to come and live in a National Trust house on an island in the middle of the Lake District?
If anybody came to the island and had the opportunity, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And I think if you're not fazed by boats or water or anything like that, coming over and back and forth on the boat just becomes part of the norm.
People have been hopping back and forth since medieval times. The island was once owned by monks, later becoming the property of the monarchy. In the 16th century, it was occupied by German miners who built a camp on the island, grew vegetables, kept animals, and brewed beer. Today, this is the only inhabited island on Derwentwater, and the house is a Grade 2 listed 9-bedroom mansion. Presumably the house is 19th century.
This dates back to the 1776.
Oh,
yeah?
really? As early as that?
So it
doesn't look like it, does it?
It was around about the time of the American War of Independence.
Yeah.
And so if we look at the two big bays, that forms the original house that was built by a banker from Newark.
Oh, and so the Victorians stuck on the two bits on the outside.
So the Victorians put the extension to the right and the extension to the left, and that was done by the Marshall family in the 1850s.
The Marshalls, wealthy flax spinners from Yorkshire, gave the property to the National Trust in 1951, and it's been rented out for the last 60 years.
We've got a long-term lease from the Trust, which means that we've got the effectively 10 years, which allows us then to invest in a house because we'll benefit from that. So it's not a short-term thing.
So you've been doing renovations?
Yep, we've put a lot of effort into that, haven't we, for the last 2 years. So in some ways, we haven't even had a chance ourselves to enjoy it, really, because we've been very busy on working on the house.
It has 26 rooms, and when Ron and Lou moved in, only 5 of them had been done up. The rest were in a pretty bad state and required a good going over. Their pride and joy is their recently refurbished kitchen. Oh, what a fantastic kitchen. This is extraordinary. Did you guys put this in?
Absolutely, yeah. So what we've done is put in the new ceiling, put all the units in. This is all local slate from the mine that is just up at the end of the valley there.
Oh, this is beautiful, this slate. Gorgeous. The newly decorated rooms need to be sympathetic to the style of the house. And of course, the lake is a logistical challenge. Lou, how did they get all the building materials in and everything else that was needed to make this place look so lovely?
Just on the same boat that you came over.
That tiny little boat?
All the units were bespoke, and then they just moved it all over piece by piece on the boat.
The slates were quite a challenge, because not only have we got to get it from the jetties onto the boat, off the boat onto the jetties, but also get it up to the house.
You've put all this investment in, all this time and trouble, and yet you may only be able to be here for 10 years. Why do you do it?
The house deserves it. So in a way, it's a spectacular location, and the house itself is quite a spectacular place. And we felt it was very almost sad that, apart from the showrooms, the rest of the house was a bit like a 2-star bed and breakfast.
Derwent House is one of 5,000 houses and cottages the National Trust leases out. Tenants have to pay for the upkeep and for any refurbishment, but they can't do whatever they like. Every change, no matter how small, has to be signed off. Supervising the work Ron and Lou are doing on the house is Tom Burdett. They've done quite significant renovations, haven't they? Do they have to do that, or are they doing it because they want to?
No, they don't have to, but they sort of chose, really, that was something that they wanted to take on. I mean, they do have a great love for the building, and they look for a little bit of guidance from us in terms of what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
Things like the colour of the paint, you know, has to be a particular colour. I remember a discussion about the radiators as well, which kind of, you know, they need to be the kind of Victorian radiators. But everything is a bit of a negotiation because we need them living here, you know, keeping it in, you know, with the right kind of temperature and things like that, you know, making sure that, you know, it's not leaking and falling apart. So we do try hard to make sure that it's advice that we're giving them rather than necessarily instructions.
Maintaining and renovating a house like this isn't for the poor or faint-hearted, but the results speak for themselves. By getting Ron and Lou to come here and invest their money and their time and their love in this place, well, that seems to be a pretty good model for conservation. The Lake District is the most mountainous part of England, with 100 peaks towering over 2,000 feet and 16 plunging lakes. This is England at its most dramatic. But as so often happens here in the lakes, what starts as a clear day soon makes way for a dramatic decline in the weather. Geologist Yanni Najman, a specialist in how mountain belts form, has joined me for the 1,000-foot hike up Loughrig Fell. We should have had an incredible bird's-eye view, but the clouds dropped and it was now pouring with rain. What created this extraordinary swirl that we call the Lake District?
We're actually in a collision zone where millions of years ago there used to be two continents that were apart and they were separated by a huge ocean called the Iapetus Ocean. As the two continents started to come together, eventually they collided and you got this massive mountain range which would have looked like the Himalayas do today, so really high, and then over time it's eroded down.
It's mind-blowing to think these hills are older than the Himalayas, formed some 400 million years ago. But the colliding continents weren't the only violent event in this landscape's evolution. What about the lakes? They weren't formed from that kind of activity, were they?
No, it wasn't till about 2 million years ago the land started to become part of an ice age, and then we've got a lot of glaciers. And as the glaciers came through, they gouged out basins, and then when they retreated, it gets filled in with water.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? It's covered in greenery now, but at one time, Armageddon was going on right where we're sitting. All this seismic activity has left a 2,000-ton landmark. This is the Borrowdale Stone, and it's been a tourist attraction since the 18th century, people coming here to marvel at the extraordinary fact that you've got this massive great rock here, supported only by this tiny bit at the bottom. How could that possibly be? Well, some people think that in the Ice Age there would have been ice there and ice over there, and it melted and just left the stone there like that. Other people think that there would have been a volcano right up there 450 million years ago or so, and it exploded and threw up this great rock which hurtled down and just got stuck. But whatever caused it, it's the perfect example of the ripping and tearing and gouging and yanking about that this landscape has undergone over the last few millennia. Afternoon. Next on my coast-to-coast journey across the Lake District, I discover the last vestiges of the Industrial Revolution.
Lady of the Lake was 1877. So
and she's still going today?
Yes, she's here.
Hello! I'm on my coast-to-coast adventure, travelling across the breadth of northern England. I'm taking my time, getting a feel for the people, the places and the history of the area. From the Borrowdale Stone in Borrowdale, I've come about 10 miles south and I'm passing through the epicentre of tourism in the Lake District, Grasmere. The village teems with visitors throughout the whole year. They come to admire the scenery that inspired one of Britain's best-loved poets.
I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er dales and hills, and all at once I saw a crowd of Japanese tourists, Chinese tourists, Australian tourists, British tourists. This is Grasmere, where Wordsworth wrote Daffodils, William Taylor Coleridge wrote some of his crazy psychedelic poetry, Turner painted here, Shelley was here. They were the first tourists. They came here to escape humdrum life and re-engage with nature. And by doing so, they kick-started an industry that now employs thousands of local people.
Over 16 million tourists visit the lakes, and they spend £1.2 billion every year, providing the main source of income for the economy. But in 2001, the foot and mouth outbreak had a devastating effect on rural business, and Cumbria was the worst affected area in the country. I've come south of Grasmere to the village of Hawkshead to meet Mark and Maria Whitehead, whose business was shattered overnight.
Maria, you got this lovely little tea shop in a great location. Business was doing really well.
Yes, yeah.
Then what happened?
We heard that foot and mouth had been found and people were being advised not to go to the countryside. We carried on and opened the cafe the following morning, and we didn't have a single customer that day, and we didn't have a customer the next day or the next day. And very, very quickly we realised that this was going to have a really massive impact on us.
The bank rang up and said, "Is everything all right?" And we said, "No." And they said, "Have you got a plan?" And we'd thought about using the facilities we had. We had a kitchen, we had staff. We already made some bits of chutney to serve with the meals that we sold in the cafe. So we thought, well, we'll go for it and see what we can do.
They closed down their cafe and instead used the premises to make artisan chutneys.
We used to make something like 11.5 jars at a time, and we just made it in a pan, same as you would do at home, an open pan on the top of the stove, and that's pretty much how things have stayed, really. It's just the pans have got a lot bigger.
Business went from strength to strength. They now employ 25 people, supply over 500 shops and export to 35 countries. Today, production takes place at this restored 16th century barn on the edge of Derwentwater. I'm donning an outfit and learning how to cook chutney.
Mark, I'm kitted up.
Right, Tony, what we're going to make is our famous Westmoreland chutney here.
I have never seen so much chutney congregated in one space.
This is going to be 350 litres, so about 900 jars worth.
So what have we got in?
We've got onions and vinegar and a little bit of sugar in there, and we're going to put the rest of it in.
Mark and Maria's business now produces over 500,000 jars a year, from beetroot and horseradish to Windermere Pale Ale jelly, and it's all made by hand.
How many different chutneys do you do?
Well, with jams and chutneys and mustards and a few other bits and pieces, probably about 140 we do normally. But then I have another repertoire of about another 270 that we can make to order.
They slice their way through a colossal 20 tonnes of onions a year. Mark tries to use locally grown produce, although some of the ingredients are definitely not from round this way.
I can see tropical fruit there.
Well, unfortunately, as you found with the weather in the Lake District, it's not always the best, and some of the exotics we just can't get here. Yeah. However, we do always try and buy them through local suppliers wherever possible.
Cumbria has a long tradition of using spices and exotic fruits in cooking. In the 18th century, ships from the West Indies, Asia and Africa unloaded their produce in the nearby West Coast ports. Inspired by these ingredients, Mark's developed a smorgasbord of new recipes.
What's the difference between, say, this all goes in here, yeah?
Yeah.
Between a chutney, a pickle and a relish?
Well, they're all basically the same thing. They come from different languages, though. There's your apricot.
So chutney is what?
Chutney is Hindi.
Yeah.
Relish, we think that might be German.
Yeah.
And then pickle comes from...
That's German or Dutch, whatever, isn't it? Yeah.
It's either Low German or Dutch, depending
Yeah.
on who you talk to.
Is that all the ingredients in there now?
No, we've got this to put in as well, Tony.
Oh, this lot?
Yep. Put the last bit out.
I'll give it a bit of a stir, do you think?
You can do, yeah. Right. I think your muscles need to be exercised a bit more.
When making this recipe alone, in a year they get through 13 tonnes of Demerara sugar, 5 tonnes of apricots and dates, and 2 tonnes of prunes. Despite the huge quantities, the chutneys still handmade in their tried and tested fashion.
Have you got plans to do a massive extension and eventually cover half the lakelands?
No, not really. We're quite happy the way we are. We've still got scope to make a bit more product yet. We like to go home at night and have a glass of wine and think, we've had a good day, we've made really good products, and that's what makes us happy. No desire to retire to the Caribbean just yet.
Our chutney needs to cool for 5 hours, so conveniently, here's some they made earlier.
Oh, look at that chutney. Look at it go.
Next, we need to fill the jars, and Alison, head of depositing, is showing me the ropes.
So what happens next?
You plonk yourself down on here.
Yep.
This is a foot pump. And it just comes out like that.
Alison, can I have a go?
You certainly can.
How many is the most jars that you've filled up and put the lids on in one day?
5,311.
Not at this rate. There we are, we're full up. Now the lids.
Every single lid is screwed on by hand. The labelling is the only process that's fully mechanised.
And then into the warehouse.
And then into the warehouse. You're right, that's it.
Back at the shop, it's time to sample the finished product.
So this is one that's been matured a bit longer. The one that you've made today needs to have a good few weeks in the jar to mature.
Just need a nice piece of cheese to go with it, don't we?
What's very good is not very good. Yeah.
We call it unctuous. It's just rounded flavour.
Unctuous. Unctuous. It's unctuous.
With a rucksack weighed down with chutney, I'm back on the road. And from Hawkshead, I've come 20 miles north to one of the most spectacular of British lakes, Ullswater. At 9 miles long, this is the second largest lake in the national park. Towards the south of the lake at Glenridding is the home of Ullswater steamers. These elegant boats have plied the lake for over 150 years and have played an integral part in the industrial heritage of the area. I'm on board with Captain Christian Grammer.
Why are there all these old boats on Ullswater? Is it just a bit of a touristy gimmick?
No, not at all. They were put here for a purpose well over 100 years ago because there was a very, very successful lead mine in the village which produced some of the finest silver in Europe, and miners would come from Germany and various other places to mine there. So, you know, provisions for the mines, pit props, you know, lead ore would go up the lake the other way, up towards Pooley Bridge.
In the late 17th century, lead ore was discovered near Glenridding village, just south of Ullswater. It became the largest lead mine in the Lake District, and by the 1850s had over 300 employees. As the roads then were little more than tracks, workers, materials and the Royal Mail were transported across the lake by boat. But towards the end of the century, with tourism on the increase, the boats were converted to ferry tourists. And this change was driven by the founder of package holidays.
Thomas Cook, who we're all aware of, used to bring people up from London and he would put them on the boats to see the lake and then transport them back by steam train to London again. There was actually pressure from Thomas Cook that encouraged the company to build their next bigger steamer.
Thanks to good sailing conditions and its closeness to shooting estates, Ullswater was also hugely popular with the royals. In 1912, one of the steamers was made a temporary royal yacht to mark the visit of the German Kaiser, Wilhelm II. That same boat, called Raven, is still part of the small fleet that sails these waters today.
Do you call them boats or ships?
We call them vessels,
Okay.
but we do call them boats, yes. I don't think they're quite ships.
How old is this vessel?
1949 she was built originally down on the south coast, and she came up here in the mid-2000s, but also we've got Lady of the Lake was 1877. She's riveted wrought iron, she's not even steel. So,
And she's still going today?
yes, she's here.
Oh, there's still one over here?
Yes, she's on her way down past us now. Only difference really is she's not steam powered anymore. She's got modern economical diesels, and she'll carry 200 passengers up and down the lake quite cleanly because she's very narrow gutted, so she moves well through the water.
Hello!
These boats are a testament to the ingenuity and durability of Victorian engineering. And I think it's brilliant that they're still in daily use on the water, paying their way.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Goodbye.
Coming up, a rare opportunity to spot a woodland creature that's been almost wiped out in Britain.
Because you see so few, you feel that's very special, at least I do.
I'm continuing my coast-to-coast journey, and I'm in the Lake District, with its magnificent fells and crystal-clear waters. From the south of Ullswater, I've headed up a track and come just over a mile inland to a hamlet called Seldom Seen, hoping to spot a woodland creature that's, well, seldom seen these days. The red squirrel population has been almost wiped out in Britain, but thanks to careful conservation and habitat management, the Lake District is one of only a handful of places where they can still be spotted in the wild. I'm with squirrel ranger Christian Bensed, and to have any chance of making a rare sighting, we need to be very quiet.
Where should we be looking? So we've got some feeders just up on the tree here, and on that tree over there. Oh yeah, I see. So yeah, that's where they'll hopefully appear.
How many reds do you reckon there are?
In this specific area, there's roughly about 20 or 30 red squirrels. Which, I don't know if that sounds like a lot.
It seems a tiny number.
It is a tiny number, but it is slowly increasing.
Do you reckon we might see one this morning?
Hopefully, yes. It's normally quite a good spot for red squirrels. There is a few in this area, so there's a good chance we might see one.
We wait, and eventually our hushed tones are rewarded.
Is that one there?
Yeah, well spotted, yeah. It's just moved to the top of that tree, yeah. So it's probably seen us and it's just checking out what's going on.
I think it's cleaning itself, isn't it?
Well, it's just on the move now. Hopefully it'll come down to the feeder now.
What's he got in there today?
On the menu today, he's got monkey nuts
Pub food.
Pub food, yeah, exactly, yeah.
The UK's red squirrel population has fallen from 3.5 million to just 150,000.
They are considerably smaller than the greys, aren't they? They are, yeah, they are half the size, near enough.
Grey squirrels were introduced to the UK from North America in the 19th century. Wealthy Victorians loved the novelty value they brought to their large estates, but the consequences were devastating.
What is it that the greys do that chases off the reds? The main problem is what's called the parapox virus, or the squirrel pox. The grey squirrels carry this parapox virus, and it doesn't affect them. They can carry it, but it doesn't affect them. But if they come in contact with red squirrels, they pass on this virus, and the red squirrels die within a matter of weeks.
To boost the numbers of reds in the area, Christian sets live traps. The reds are released, while the greys are classed as vermin and destroyed humanely.
Oh, so cute.
This may seem an extreme mode of conservation, but it's the only way to save our native red squirrel from extinction.
I can see why you like them so much. The way it's eating is hysterical, isn't it? It is, yeah. They're very funny creatures, to be honest, and although they're solitary, they will play with each other at times. You will see them chasing each other up the trees, and I never get tired of watching them, to be honest. Because you see so few, you feel that's very special, at least I do. It is, you're right. For me as well, when I'm seeing the population building, when I'm seeing them coming back, it's really satisfying.
When I was a kid, they were iconic. They were sweet, they were funny, they were brightly coloured, they were tiny, and they were common. And then all of a sudden they were on the verge of extinction. But now they're here again and their numbers are starting to increase. Just a lovely morning, really quite emotional. Let's hope they're iconic for tomorrow's children too.
I'm at my final destination on this leg of my coast-to-coast adventure. From Ullswater, I've travelled right to the boundary of the Lake District to the village of Shap. I'm here to visit the last abbey to be founded in England and the last to be dissolved by Henry VIII. This is Shap Abbey, which was built in 1200 AD. During the Middle Ages, it was occupied by a rather obscure group of canons called the Premonstratensians, which is a mouthful, so they were commonly known as the White Abbots. It was pulled down in 1540 by Henry VIII's men. Actually, see that farmhouse over there? That was built from some of the rubble. Shap Abbey was disbanded as part of the dissolution of the monasteries, which began after Henry VIII was made the head of the Church of England. Catholic institutions across Britain, home to more than 10,000 monks, nuns, friars and canons, were dissolved and the Crown seized their assets. Henry VIII used a lot of the money raised to fund his military campaigns. Very little remains of this once hugely significant building, apart from the tower. And I'm glad to see that English Heritage has started work stabilising the walls so that hopefully it'll still be dominating the landscape in another 1,000 years. Next to Shap Abbey is the River Lowther, which is my finishing point for this leg of the journey. This river marks the official end of the Lake District, so I'm bidding farewell to the fells of Borrowdale, the boats of Ullswater and the tourists of Grasmere. Not that I'm turning my back on all the beauty and gorgeousness that this journey has to offer. Ahead of me are the rolling hills of the Dales and the drama of the moors. And finally, I'll be dipping my toe into Robin Hood's Bay on the east coast.
if it's not too chilly.
Next time, I'm in Cumbria's Eden Valley.
Any more fares?
Where I discover the vintage buses that are connecting up the countryside.
This is a bit of a treat, isn't it?
The first footsteps of a brand new baby calf.
Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen?
And on a cliff edge, a dramatic mountain rescue.
Well, I can hear them, I think.